Okay. So Bodhisattva way of life, chapter 9. So we are on a verse, let's say 44. But just briefly remind you that 40, 41, 42, 43, what stops there with the new translation, right? So as you know that the mainly saying here, the Vivashaka and the Theravada or Hinayana tenets, tenet pronoun or what called Hinayana practitioner. They said if everything is lack of truly existence, then it shouldn't be existence, right? So therefore, not necessary to see lack of true existence or emptiness for achieving nirvana. That this 16 aspect of Four Noble Truth is enough or perfect to see to liberation or achieve nirvana. That's the main argument, right? So actually, they are rejecting Mahayana teaching by rejecting emptiness. Okay, so because for them emptiness is nihilism, that's what they understand. So not truly existent means not existence, it's the same. So therefore they say, okay, that's Mahayana teachings, not the Buddha teachings, because they talks about that lack of truly existence, and they talks about nihilism, but Buddha shouldn't talk that. Okay, that's the how the topic began with here. To now from Mahayana side, Mahayana practitioner, to prove how important to realize emptiness. Without realize the emptiness, even you cannot attain nirvana, then of course you will not attain fully enlightenment, Buddhahood. So therefore, we must see emptiness for both goal to achieve either nirvana or fully enlightenment. That's the Mahayana said, right? And then the lower tenet school saying it's not necessary to see emptiness to achieve nirvana, because the 16 aspect of Four Noble Truth to enough to cease those for nirvana. So, and then this is their main statement, and the both statement, right? The what Mahayana statement and what either we can call like a yeah, so far we use like a southern tradition and northern tradition, okay? So sometimes we use Pali tradition and Sanskrit tradition. Sometimes we use southern tradition or northern tradition. Or sometimes we use Hinayana and Mahayana, right? So therefore here better use, let's say, okay, I will use the Sanskrit tradition and Pali tradition. Pali tradition means the Hinayana or Theravadas and so on. Sanskrit tradition means Mahayana. Okay, that's the way you should understand. So, okay, there are two main statements. The Sanskrit tradition saying we must realize emptiness for enlightenment and both nirvana. And then Pali tradition saying it's not necessary to see emptiness for achieve nirvana and enlightenment. The 16 aspect of Four Noble Truth is enough. Even that emptiness not exist is that wrong way. This is wrong view. That's their statement. Okay. So now from here, the verse 41. to verse 41 and 42 and 43 is rejecting their statement by reasoning, right? Or establish Mahayana teaching is Buddha's teaching by reasoning. Above that, we just did with the scripture, right? So we see look at the 40. One can be freed by seeing the truth. Why bother seeing emptiness? That's the Pali tradition said. Because of there no awakening without the path, the scripture teach. This is the Sanskrit tradition says. So that all these perfection wisdoms teachings talks about that. So therefore we must accept it. And that's the last time I mentioned it. Why I mentioned first the scripture before we talks about reasoning. Okay. So now that scripture is now it's saying the scripture are the Buddha scripture. We now verse 41 from what 41 giving more reasoning to prove that scripture is Buddha's teaching, the Mahayana scripture or Sanskrit, the Mahayana scripture are the Buddha's teaching, or the perfection of wisdoms are the Buddha's teachings. That's the establishing by reasoning. So see the here 41. If the great vehicle is not provided, how is that your scripture are? Because they are proven to us both, at first they were not proven to you. Okay, here, this is the 41. By saying, if the Mahayana scripture is not proven, and how you accept the Pali tradition is proven. And their answer is, because there's no argument, both of us accepted that Pali tradition is profound. But the Mahayana is saying that, no, I mean, how you accept first, you are not accepted as the Pali tradition, all the scriptures are valued as when you're born, before you study. You did not accept before you study. Before you study, you are not the Pali tradition's followers, right? When you're born, you are not the Pali tradition followers. So how could you accept today that Pali tradition scripture are valued? This is at first, they were not proven to you when you was young, before you studied, right? So, and then the answer here, the reason for believing them are the same for the great, the reason for believing in them. The reasoning saying, this is the Buddha directly talk to us, and then all the lineages, the holders are continuous holding those teaching to generation to generation, and therefore I see is more valuable. Then that Mahayana say, if so, then you will see the Mahayana teaching as same way to when you study it. That's the same, are the same for the great vehicle too. Means you will see that great vehicle is like a Sanskrit tradition. The scripture is Buddha's teaching or value, right? So because the same reasoning same. And then, oh yeah, if they are true, since true practice accept them, the Vedas and such would be also be true. Okay. So what I'm saying here is, okay. So it's saying Mahayana teaching is not accepted by everyone. but the Pali tradition scripture is accepted by many of them, more than 2, right? The many of them accept it. So then asking question, what means many of them accepting? Okay, another way to say, many of them value it, therefore it should be valued. Then the Mahayana saying here, if the scripture or doctrines is accepted by many, therefore it's become a valued, then you must say Veda's teachings should be valued because there are many beings or many people accept it, and also it's valued. The Vedas is, as I say, one of the Hindus philosopher who are followed Brahma, right? So that's called the Vedas, Rigjeva. Okay, so then you must accept that Vedas teachings are also true and valued because it's accepted by many. That's I said it. Now here, if it is because the great vehicle is in dispute, reject your own scriptures, since they are constated by non-Buddhists, as are some you and other challenge. So okay. So now 33 are saying, yes, not just the reasoning is not just giving accepted by many. Also, it is like disputed by many. The great vehicle Mahayana teaching is rejected by many, or it's like a yeah, okay. As he here says, if it is because the great vehicle is in dispute, reject your own scripture. That's the same, right? Because it's not just not accepted by many, or only it's also it's rejected or disputed by many. So then asking that rejected means what? So because it's many people arguing each other that this is Buddha's teaching or not Buddha's teaching. So therefore, the Mahayana teaching is not valued because it has a many argument. It's rejected by many to accept its Buddha's teaching. So, and then Mahayana answering for that, since they are constented by non-Buddhists, as are some you and other challenge. If so, then let's see, even your doctrines, your scripture, what is the Pali tradition and scriptures are also disputed or rejected by non-Buddhists. Then your teaching should be not the Buddha's teaching because it's rejected by non-Buddhists. Then Pali traditions might say, oh yeah, I'm not talking with reject. There are many disagree there. Many disagree there. This is not just counted as like a rejecting it. Rejecting it because it's inside Buddhists. The scripture is are rejecting the Mahayana, the Buddha's teaching. Then again, same answer. So then all these 18 classes of Vipassanas, at the way beginning, they are rejecting each other. How come 18 branches Vipassana? in historically saying, after Buddhas, after a long time, like maybe Ashoka time or after Ashoka time, so that they have a little bit what called different teachings, has all these different exceptions. Then each other saying, what we talking here, what we reciting here is the actual Buddha's teaching. What you reciting, what you're thinking, what your views are not the Buddha's teaching. That's what they argued. That's the how come it's 18 branches in the Vipassana tenet school. So then, yeah, the Mahayana is saying, isn't that all this Vipassana, Vivasana, what called, what, I'm sorry, am I saying the right, the Vipassana? Right, Vipassana, right?
It's Vaibhashika, right?
Vivasana, yeah, Vivasana, sorry, yeah. Vivasana. So yeah, all the 18 branches of Vivashakas are arguing each other, rejecting each other, saying your one is not Buddha's teaching, my one is Buddha's teaching. So if so, then your teachings shouldn't be the Buddha's teaching, because you have a rejecting each other, even Buddhists. Then what answer should be there, right? So they might say, yeah, we are rejecting each other, or we are arguing a lot. That's those Vinaya texts and then Vinaya moral systems. We argued, but the final conclusions, we concluded all that Buddha's teaching by the explanation about that king, what called, it's a Gavutiti. That's Tibetan say the king Titi is Kriki, King Krikri. He has a 10 kind of dreams, and then Buddha explained about the 10 dreams. And then one of them is saying, in the future, we'll be having that kind of many branches arguing, but for regarding to achieve nirvana, all is the same path, and all is the Buddha's teaching. Then finally they found this teaching and they come together. They might say that. So same, then we have another text that's saying, yes, that mine is Buddha's teaching, right? So that's the way we argue and then conclude it. Okay, I think you might understand the reasoning. The first three reasoning, the 41, 42, 43 are saying, it's like saying the reasoning that giving similar reasoning or equivalence, right? Equal reasoning. The equal reasoning, because the first one is saying, if your tenet school is you accepted by study and seeing this all the reasoning, then same Mahayana teaching should be accepted by study and reasoning. So this is one equal reasoning. And secondly, a second equal reasoning saying is accepted by many, therefore your teaching is valued, then Mahayana teaching should be valued. Mahayana teaching should be Buddha's teaching it because it's accepted by many, right? Or other hand say, although Veda's teaching is also accepted by many, it's either you should accept the Veda's teachings are true or value, or Mahayana teachings are also value because accepted by many, right? And then it says not accepting, it's also rejecting. If so, then your teaching is also rejected by non-Buddhist practitioners, also rejected by inside your tenet school, inside Buddhist, right? So if so, then your teaching shouldn't be valued because it's rejecting by both non-Buddhist and Buddhist. That is how give them reasoning. They call equal reasoning, right? Now today, actual our topic is here, the 44. Now again, continues the proving or establishing by reasoning that emptiness is valuable and necessary to realize, as well as the teaching which talks about emptiness is Buddha's teaching. Continues establishing those statements by reasoning, okay? So now the 44th, the saying, the teaching root is bhikshuhood, but bhikshuhood is difficult. For those whose minds still have focus, reaching nirvana is difficult. So bhikshuhood is saying the teaching root is bhikshuhood. Let's say read another text. I see. Where's the 44 here? You accept any teaching which can be classified into the three spiritual categories, Tripitaka, as the word of the Buddha, according to whether its discourses, the training of moral discipline, considerations of wisdom. If this is so, since these three trainings are taught in most Mahayana scriptures, such as the Samdhi Dharana Mukhana Sutra, they are similar to scripture. Okay, I think this is more easier for us to read here. Okay, now here. So the teaching root is bhikshuhood. What does it really mean? The teaching is this Buddha's teaching, Buddha Shakyamuni's teaching, and then the root is bhikshuhood. Bhikshuhood means here the bhikshu is actually bhikshu, either bhikshu or bhikshuni. There are a few different type of bhikshu and bhikshuni, but the original bhikshu and bhikshuni as like a two kind of type. One type who receive those vows, right? So that's we count it as a bhikshu or bhikshuni. And another bhikshu or bhikshuni is not just receive the vows, who are achieved the arhat, who attain nirvana. That's also the one of the bhikshu. Within these two, the actual bhikshu we counted is the arhat. So that's the saying. The root is bhikshuhood. The both are actually root. The teaching root. The root means like the Buddha's teaching. What is Buddha's teaching? Holding. The root of holding. Root of spreading. Flourishing. Or root of developing. You can see this. The root means. So the bhikshus are the root of holding and developing, increasing, I mean like flourishing. All these three is doing with Buddha's teaching. So therefore, it's called root. But especially here, the root is not counted every single arhat. More counted here, the 7 successor of that Buddha's teaching. You might be familiar with it, are you? You know, after Buddha passed away, and Buddha gave to all this, what do you call, authorization, it's not. It's called It's what is mean authorizations? Authorized.
Like permission.
Oh, okay, it's not like that. Let me see dictionary. What's this? Just say not really says in dictionary. Okay. Let's say I have another dictionary for me to get that. So you guys never heard that okay. The 7 successive treatises of the teaching. This is also sometime given as Tempe Therapeutin, 7 successive treatises of the founder. The responsibility for the Buddha's teaching was, okay, he is entrusted by Buddha to one of his principal arhat, and then from arhat to another arhat. So here, interested, okay. So you can say Buddha interested. Say now I'm going to die. So from today, my all teaching is taking response by Kashyapa, Arhat Kashyapa. So because I entrusted to him. So that's the same. The Buddha entrusted to giving his all responsibility to. There's so far we counted 7 successor Arhat, right? Such as Kashyapa, right? And Nanda, Sanavastra, Upagupta, Tatika, we will say Arya Tatika, Arya Sutarsana. These are the 7 successor of Buddha's teaching. After Kashyapa died, Buddha Kashyapa give all this responsibility to Nanda. So before Nanda passed away, so all this Buddha's teaching responsibility to the Sanavastri. That's what we call the 7 successive traditions of the teaching. These all are arhat. These are ruled because without them, Buddha teaching will be not remaining continuous. And mainly here, talking about that Pali tradition scriptures. These are the arhat. The most are holding or taking responsibility of the Pali tradition's teaching. So these are the root of Buddha's teaching, right? Where is it? Okay, here, the root of the teaching's root. Because without them, Buddha teaching cannot increases, cannot flourish it by time to time, generation to generation, right? It's because of them. And also 16 Arhat. That's very common, familiar with that. So 16 Arhat accepted that in front of Buddha or committed the in front of Buddha until next teachings comes, until Mathya teachings comes. We are taking responsibility to Buddha's teaching, or until end of the Buddha's teaching, we will hold that, we will increase that, we will flourish that. That's how 16 Arhat committed in front of Buddha, right? So therefore, it's counted here the root of Buddha's teaching, the bhikshuhood, who is the root of teaching, and then also we had 3 times concealed the teaching, right? The concealed the teaching. Are you familiar with it? Looks like a very new people.
Geshe, are you talking about the secret teachings?
Not the secret teaching, concealed. After Buddha passed away, then they collected 3 times. The Mahayana perspective is collected 3 times, or the Pali tradition perspective, they collected 4 or 5 times. The collecting means in the Buddha time or after Buddha time, the scripture are not the readings on a textbook and not the reading on paper or not the reading on a banana leaf. It's more memorizations. It's more they're reciting. All the teachings, Buddha's teachings, hold by memory. Right? This is how it goes. And sometimes it could be conflicted, misconceptions comes because it's not the reading on the paper, right? So, and then they have to come back again because there are many misconceptions. Once the misconception and misunderstandings arises, then they're coming together, all the arhats coming together and then reciting whatever they remember, whatever. Then this is the way collecting the Buddha teachings. So 3 times they did collected Buddha's teaching. So whoever arhat attending on these 3 time collections are also counted here the root teaching. So therefore, the root of teaching means who are the root to holding the Buddha's teaching up to today. That's the saying is, right? And then therefore, not counted all bhikshuhood, not counted all arhat. So counted those are who are the 7 successor Buddha's teaching, who are the 16 arhat, and who are the arhat who are attending or involved in this 3 time teaching collections or concealed. So those are.
I think maybe are you trying to say council? I think we refer to those events like when the senior monks arhats come together as like the Buddhist councils. There's
councils. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So yeah, that's exactly councils. Those are here saying the root of the Buddha's teaching. The teaching root is bhikshu root. That's the same, right? And even regarding here, I said like not counted all bhikshuhood and all arhat, but the bhikshuhoods are bhikshu or bhikshuni or monastery are isn't that root of teaching? Then I would say yes, these are also root of teaching because all the monasteries, the Buddha said 2 things. Buddha said. One thing regarding Sutrayana, as well as my Vinaya teaching as a confession and the 3 count, if we say summer retreat, and then the 3 activities they counted, as well as 3 activities are remaining, then my teaching will be remaining. If the 3, where are not the 3 activities are happening, then my teachings are disappearing. So that's the Buddha said it. And then all these 3 activities actually holding by all this monastic or Buddhahood or a bhikshuhood or bhikshuni. So they are holding. So it's some point they are counted as a root of teaching because that's the reason they keep all these activities, Buddha's activities. Therefore, Buddha teaching is remaining here until today. So, but here we might understand that way. Who are not the bhikshu, not all bhikshu, and not all arhat. Okay, those are the root bhikshu. But really, what does it really mean here? But bhikshuhood is difficult. So those arhat, the mainly is not talking about bhikshuhood, mainly talking about those arhat who are root of the teachings. Are difficult to say those are arhat, or kind of impossible those are arhat, because you must accept that those are not free from afflictions or not free from all defilement, mental defilement, because they do not cease emptiness, because you rejected the emptiness, because you don't accept the emptiness, right? As far as you do not cease the emptiness, then you must have perceiving truly existence or comprehending truly existence. Until you do have comprehending or perceiving truly existence, you cannot eliminate or you cannot completely free from all these mental defilements. So therefore, how come they are arhat now? All these arhat, which we counted the root of teachings, are, it's almost, you should accept it, those are not arhat, because those are not eliminate the self-grasping, because they are not eliminate the truly perceiving truly existence, because not cease emptiness. That's the here saying but bhikshuhood is difficult, means that. Difficult means here impossible. Without cease emptiness. The root of all this root is the root are the impossible, or arhats are impossible. And then reasoning same, which I said it, right? So clear with it? Okay, then Richard, what you don't understand?
So at the beginning, you said this also, that if a Pali tradition practitioner does not believe that emptiness is possible because it's not inherently existence, therefore it's not existence, and that's a form of nihilism, how could they, the question then at the beginning of this teaching of yours would have been, well, how could they achieve arhat if they believe that? But now you've really twisted.
They said it.
Yeah, and now you've
They
twisted.
said they achieve arhat because of they can see the Four Noble Truth.
Just the Four Noble Truths, and then
They can realize.
But now you've twisted this around and said, well, if they have not seen emptiness, they cannot be rid of self-grasping.
This is the Mahayana saying now. Mahayana talking.
Yeah.
Mahayana continues talk that.
Yeah. I'm repeating what you said. I agree. That's what the Mahayana are talking.
Uh-huh.
So if you were a Pali tradition practitioner and you believe that there are arhats, how would
Mahayana
you
believe? No.
No, if you are Pali,
no believe.
not Mahayana.
Not Mahayana believe that way.
Correct. But if a Pali tradition practitioner, Pali tradition, believes arhats exist, but that,
both are believe arhat exists,
but they only
Mahayana look at that way. Not really they achieve the arhat nirvana.
They don't believe they achieved nirvana.
They
the Pali tradition
do in the
practitioner believes that arhats exist from having practiced just the Four Noble Truths without a view of emptiness. So that would be without being rid of self-grasping.
You asking two different perspectives, right? Two different perspectives. Arhat, the Pali tradition accepted arhat.
Yeah.
They do have a path for achieve nirvana. All their path, the realization, when the Mahayana perspective, especially the Prasangika, when look at them, their path is not the completely path.
Yeah.
But the Mahayana perspective, they might not attain the arhat completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But from the Pali perspective,
yes, they do.
Yes, but I'm asking a question now. From the Pali perspective, how does the Pali perspective reconcile that if you have self-grasping, you cannot experience nirvana, you cannot be free from suffering? If they don't believe in emptiness, how could anyone be free? How can anyone have achieved nirvana? How could there be arhats? From the Pali view, how could there be arhats?
Yeah, so you're mixing two teaching in your mind.
Yes.
You're mixing, make it separate, okay?
Okay.
The Pali tradition, the root of samsara is different than Mahayana. And therefore, paths are different.
Oh,
Okay, root of samsara is not the truly existence, not the perceiving truly existence. They do not accept that.
self-grasping is not the root of samsara to a Pali tradition.
They're even the same name they call self-grasping.
Yeah.
But when we look at the self-grasping, what does really mean self-grasping? They will explain different way than Mahayana explain it.
Should we know how they would explain it, just so we understand?
We should know, yeah, of course.
So how would they explain it?
Wait, I will come in the next line.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so now at least you understand this too, what really talking here, right?
I
So
understand.
like I
Yeah.
said, mainly talking about the arhat. You accept arhat, we accept arhat. By you rejecting emptiness, as well as you rejecting emptiness, then we are not seeing that your arhat is really nirvana or cessations. Therefore, arhat is, there are other root bhikshu who are not attain the arhat because you accept that they do not realize the emptiness, right? So therefore, it's talking based on Mahayana perspective.
So the 14 aspects of the Four Noble Truths, or the 16 aspects of the Four Noble Truths, whatever it is, I don't know what those are, but that must be, I'd like someone else to ask the questions because I'm not sure I'm asking these questions
Last
well.
time I mentioned it briefly,
Yeah.
and I mentioned all the name and request to you to look at another book to understand more details.
Yeah, that's why I think someone else should ask this question. I never did that. I never looked at another book. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, okay. So okay. So each noble truth has a four different aspects, right? The four aspects. That's the count 16. And then more details, we might need to separate teaching, or you can look at another book. But at least you have concept that 16 aspect of Four Noble Truth.
Okay, but what I don't understand is how could an arhat exist in the Pali tradition practitioner's mind if they still have self-grasping? You said they have a different definition of self-grasping. So
Yeah, that's
that,
what we're talking about.
what is there? They're going to tell us what that is, and then we'll understand. Okay,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We will talk with the next two lines.
I'll be quiet. Thank you.
Okay, so anyhow, so this is again, please look at what is the 16 aspect. The 16 aspect of Four Noble Truth is not only accepted by Pali tradition. Mahayana also accepted that 16 aspect of Four Noble Truth, right? Whatever Pali tradition accepted, Mahayana accepted. The Vinaya rule, Mahayana accepted. It's a root or fundamental of Mahayana teaching. Renunciations, Mahayana accepted. It's also fundamental of all this teaching. I mean, all these realizations or this path, attainment, right? And then also many, the doctrine and scripture, what Pali tradition saying, Mahayana accepted those. So same way, Mahayana accepted the 16 aspect of Four Noble Truth. Additionally here, Mahayana has two different level of 16 aspect, gross level or subtle level. That's the Mahayana talk. Additionally, Mahayana teachings, Mahayana practice are all additional, right? Additional based on Pali tradition's practice. Okay, anyhow, look at this. Within this 16 aspect, actually not understanding is, it's saying it's enough to seize 16 aspect for nirvana. That's the Pali tradition says, but not it is talks about all the 16 aspects. So within this 16 aspect, one of the aspect is the first noble truth called selflessness. This is the main antidote for the antidote for a root of samsara. Okay. So now, okay, now I hope you understand first two. And now here, for those whose minds still have focus, reaching nirvana is difficult. That's the saying. Those whose minds still have focus means still have that focus on truly existence. That's the saying here, right? Still have means still having or comprehending truly existence. Then reaching nirvana is difficult. So until you perceive, again, it's Mahayana perspective, Mahayana talking here. Until you perceive truly existence or comprehending truly existence, then you will not reach nirvana because of that obstacle. You will not eliminate the which is obscure to achieve nirvana, which is perceiving truly existence. So this four line, see, first two line is saying those arahats shouldn't be arahat. Then second two lines are giving reasoning because those arahats are still comprehending truly existence. Why? They do not see, they do not realize emptiness. That's not talking Mahayana to Mahayana. Mahayana talking to Pali tradition, okay? Who rejected emptiness? Talk to them. And then 45 here, if one is freed just by discarding afflictions, it's immediate. Yet it is seen the karma has power over those who do not have afflictions. Okay, so it's saying that if one is freed just by discarding, okay, let me see, discarding afflictions, right? Now here Pali tradition is answering here. Yes, discarding affliction is not necessary to see emptiness. So same repeating those their statements saying the 16 aspects of Four Noble Truth. Who sees the 16 aspect of Four Noble Truth? They can discarding the afflictions, not necessary to realize emptiness. They're saying here, right? If one is free just by discarding afflictions. Then Mahayana says, it is immediate. What does it mean? It is immediate means, then you might accept that who are reduce the manifestations of afflictions. Same time, whoever reduce or discarding the manifestation of affliction, then you must accept there are arhat. Because becoming arhat not necessary to eliminate the truly existence, perceiving truly existence. Just enough that self-grasping, right? Okay, let me see regarding here the self-grasping. So
Geshe,
far,
sorry,
yes,
can I ask a question here?
yeah, sure.
So when in the Mahayana tradition, when you say somebody has achieved nirvana, is that by definition somebody who has seen emptiness but does not have both ultimate bodhicitta?
Not necessarily ultimate bodhicitta. Yeah.
Correct. So basically, in the Mahayana tradition, basically somebody who has who is selflessness and seen emptiness, whereas in the Pali tradition, it is pretty much just selflessness. Is this accurate? Because that's what I understand it to be. In the Hinayana, of course, mental afflictions have to be eliminated and selflessness.
Yeah, that's the thing. Their selflessness has a little bit different than Mahayana talks about selflessness, because self-grasping is different. So let's talk about that. Self-grasping, how self-grasping is different, right? So far, we're talking about what is self-grasping. The self-grasping is perceiving truly existence or comprehending truly existence. We always talk that. Many times talk that, either when we talk Lamrim, mind training, or Tantra, whatever we talk, we use that term or that definition of self-grasping. So saying perceiving truly existence of self and phenomena, or comprehending truly existence, self and phenomena. These are the, so far we call self-grasping or ignorance. That's how so far you understand. This all talking based on Prasangika perspective, Prasangika tenet school.
Mhm.
But all other tenet school are not exactly accept that way. That they're not exactly defined the self-grasping that way. So therefore, let go a little bit elaborated on it.
But just a second. So self-grasping and selflessness are not the same thing. Just to answer Lobsang Wussel's question.
So, okay. Definitely is not same. This is exactly opposite. Self-grasping and selflessness is two opposite. So self-grasping is wrong view. Selflessness is the antidote, which is eliminating the self-grasping.
So, but I think what we're trying to ask is, what is the so in the Hinayana tradition, I think when you have understood the the temporary nature of the five skandhas and have conquered that, at that point you have achieved selflessness.
What does temporary nature means?
Meaning, well, you have understood that they are impermanent and not truly existent.
Oh, okay. Is it temporary nature? I don't think it's temporary nature. It's the wrong view, right?
Yeah.
Yes, skandha is temporary, yes. Temporary nature, you might say impermanent, then yes, yeah. But truly existence is not counted like a temporary nature. It's a wrong view.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, okay, self-grasping, which is root of samsara. Vivashika, like some Vivashika talks that the self-grasping means comprehending self as a permanent, independent, and what called single, right? Let's say, okay.
But isn't it also a possessor self, a possessor?
Possessor means?
That the maybe Chappelle can explain it better. I forget exactly what.
Oh,
that means.
here says internal, unique, and autonomous.
Autonomous, yeah.
Autonomous, yeah. So another translation here saying permanent, partless, and independent. Yeah, that's the I use many times. They think that what is self-grasping means for them is the grasping on self, thinking the self is permanent, partless, and independent. This is the self-grasping for them. But the permanent and in partless or independent is to what it's saying. This is the okay. This is how they accepted the root of samsara, right? And I'm talking the Vivashaka. The Vivashaka accept that self-grasping is the root of samsara. So, and therefore, for freeing or for eliminating that root of samsara, it's enough to see the impermanent. It's not necessary to see the selflessness or self-grasping. I mean, selflessness or lack of truly existence. It's not necessary to see that, right? So therefore, they think the root of samsara or root of all suffering is perceiving self is permanent and partless and independent. Okay, so if we're not really, yeah, I think it's a little bit difficult to get in there because we have to go more than intellectual, right? We have to imagine that how they are, how we comprehend it, how we perceive the self is permanent and independent and partless. That's we need to understand, right? Then you can imagine that it is really root of samsara or not. That's the way you can understand. If you cannot imagine or if you not understand clear that they are self-grasping, what they define it, so then you will not understand it is how it's obscured to achieving nirvana, right? How it could brings all this suffering, or you can say it is exactly the obscure to nirvana or not. That's what we should understand. So right, so their understanding is yes, they say yes, it is exactly obscure to achieve nirvana. That's what they said it. But for us, understanding it is or not is better to understand these three. This is anyhow. This is one way to define root of samsara or self-grasping. Okay. And another type of self-grasping above like a Sotantrika, Chidamatra, or like a Sutantrika, right? These three tenet schools are accepting the same one of the root of samsara is self-grasping, which is grasping the being substantially existence in the sense of being self-sufficient person. This is how they define self-grasping. Rangyatuba, Rangyatube Zayodruba. Rangyatuba means self-sufficient person, which is substantially existence. Right? So that's how they are comprehended or grasping or perceive whatever you call. I don't think we use this for here, the perceiving things, more comprehending and grasping that the being is self-sufficient persons. And then also the being is substantially existence. This is the wrong view for them. This is the self-grasping for them. This is the root of samsara for them. Okay. And I'm not clear with who's really talks. One of tenet talks here. Self-grasping means grasping the self, dissimilar characteristic with the hips. 5 hips. The 5 hips characteristic is 5 hips are the impermanence compositional factors Therefore, five heaps are produced by cause. And then it will be remaining continuum until it's ended, and it will be ended. So that kind of characteristic of all compositional factors or impermanence are the characteristic of all impermanence, right? And then five skandhas are, as well as impermanent, it should be has those characteristics. But the self is dissimilar with this characteristic, which five skandha has. Means they think self is totally separate than five skandha. That's simple way to say. They think self is separate than skandha. This is the self-grasping. This is the root of samsara. But sometimes when you read the text, you might see that grasping the being, I'll say, grasping the dissimilar characteristic with the five heaps, or the self is grasping the dissimilar characteristic with the heaps. That's the you might see it, the explanation. But what it means is that which is a wrong view is thinking self is separate than five skandha. This is the one of the root of samsara. Now come back to here, Prasangika Mahayana, right? The Prasangika Mahayana, what is self-grasping? What is the root of samsara is either perceiving or comprehending truly existence. They're not talk that kind of many many aspect. You know, there's substantially exists, self-sufficiency, or dissimilar, or permanent, partless. Not talk that that much different aspect. Simply saying, perceiving or comprehending that self is truly existence, is self-grasping. Sometimes, instead of self-grasping, they call denzin, truly existence. The four of them, self-grasping, dangzin is self-grasping, right? Da, D-A-K, da, zin. Zin means comprehended or grasping, right? So zin, da is self. But the Prasangika, dangzin and denzin is same. Literally translate dangzin, self-grasping. Denzin, truly existence. I mean, like denzin means grasping on truly existence. These two are same. But below all tenet school are dangzin and denzin is totally different. Dangzin, self-grasping, only things have wrong view on a self, not on a phenomena. Too confused? I know. Yeah. So, okay. Anyhow, so far we should understand there are different tenet school, different defined it the self-grasping or root of samsara. Okay. And what we talking here, self-grasping, in general, when we talk teaching, it's based on Prasangika perspective. It's Prasangika thoughts, okay? Which is talking about grasping truly existence, comprehending truly existence, right? So these are the root of something. For therefore, it's necessary to see emptiness. But understanding that, again, go back the root of samsara, different type of root of samsara, need to understand, and then it's really rooted us to circling existence. That's what we need to understand. Because Prasangika is saying those are very gross level. Those are not really rooted as circle existence. Even you are eliminating those, still we will circle existence. We will in samsara. We will take born in samsara. That's Prasangika said. Because your exceptions, you're defining this, all the self-graspings are very gross level. For that antidote, and not necessarily emptiness, right? So, and then even some other path can be eliminate those, but still it's possible you are in a samsaric being. Even you are eliminate those self-grasping, what you define it.
Can I ask a quick question? So I know we're not supposed to say Hinayana, and we should say instead
Pali tradition, okay.
Pali tradition, but you're including the Sautantrika, the Chittamatra, and a bunch of other traditions in there that don't agree with each other necessarily. But would they say the definition, and this is getting back to Lobsang Wussel's question, which is, would they say the definition, what would they say is the definition of nirvana? Would they say the same thing that the Mahayana or the Prasangika would say? Would they say that nirvana is
Understanding nirvana,
yeah,
you should understand the root of obscurations to nirvana.
yeah,
And then, you know, cessation, their cessation, nirvana means cessation, right? Cessation, they use the term cessation, all tenets similar.
yeah.
And as well as the obscuration is different. That's what cessating is different.
But
What
this is why,
eliminating is different.
yes, yeah,
What is eliminating is different.
yes,
Cessation should be different.
exactly. That's why I'm asking. Is their
Huh?
definition of nirvana the same as ours? And what is our, I thought our definition of nirvana, the Prasangika definition, would be permanent cessation of suffering.
No,
No?
no.
Okay, so what is the definition of nirvana for the Prasangika, and what is it for the, let's call it the Pali traditions?
Yeah, the Prasangika definition of nirvana is, which is completely eliminated that grasping truly existence. That's the nirvana. Yeah. Is this clear?
Yes, that's clear. That's the Prasangika definition.
Yeah.
So what is the Pali traditions definition? It must be different.
Again, I'm saying here, when you understand the obstacle, when you understand the self-grasping, whatever self-grasping, they accept it. Just eliminating it is nirvana. So
I see.
therefore, understanding nirvana, you must know the obstacle. And that cessate, that eliminated is nirvana.
So this argument becomes quite different in the different traditions because they're defining nirvana differently.
Yeah, of course.
So
yeah, so defining nirvana is different because the obscuration is different. Therefore, the path should be different. In order there comes the nirvana is different.
but they're all saying that it's freedom from samsara.
They're saying yes.
But we're saying no, it isn't, because
they're all saying yes. Yeah.
yeah.
They're
is
all
complicated.
saying I'm good. What does that mean?
Hmm.
Right? Okay, Georgian.
Thank you.
Doesn't it also have to do with a different definition of what an arhat is?
Same.
Well,
When we give the definition for nirvana, that goes with the arhat.
correct me if I'm wrong in this, but I'm recalling from reading the Lotus Sutra that the Buddha had chosen a particular point at which to introduce the teaching on emptiness, and saying to this group of arhats that they had to accomplish this in order to become fully enlightened. And there were some of the arhats who accepted this and accepted that they weren't yet fully enlightened. But there was another group, as I recall, it was 500 or 5,000 of them who got up and left at that point, because they thought that at that point they were fully enlightened. Am I remembering this correctly?
I think, yeah, it is, but it's totally different than what we're talking right now.
Well, my question is, would those arhats who got up and left have been of the Pali tradition?
I don't think so. Because Pali tradition is not accepted. The obstacle is through perceiving truly existence, because they do not accept it emptiness. Then arhat shouldn't be what their perspective of arhat. This arhat in talks on the Lotus Sutra based on Madhyamika Mahayana perspective.
Oh, okay. I guess I have to go back and read it.
Yeah. So, okay, anyhow, it's good to know that different level of root of samsara. And then there's the way we will look at the antidote for that. And then which emptiness, which antidote is best, because we found it, right? We have to find it out. So this is the main, it's a what called, I think critical way to judge, which is like a more authentic or not to your understanding and experiences, right? So different root samsara, and it has a different antidote of path, and which is really brings you that free from suffering, which just brings you nirvana. So that's, we have to look at that, but that's the way we judge it. Okay, anyhow. So okay, 44, yeah, 45, right? If one is free just by discarding affliction, it's mandate. It is okay, it's immediate. It is immediate mean again. So you immediate means as soon you are reduce the manifestation of affliction, then you must say at the moment that person attend an arahat. Immediate means that, right? You understand? Okay. So let you know then first how we are eliminating all these obscurations. The first, we are reducing manifestation of afflictions, not the seed, not the imprint, right? Just try to, if you have a 10-time angers in day, we are reducing, and then 2-time angers day, or nothing, no more angers in day. Just reduce it. You know, so, but reducing means, this example, I don't know, it's perfect and let you understand or not, are you understand or not? So here, this is like simple, I give you example, reduce mean, right? But we will not have a no anger today, but tomorrow might have anger. Or no 1 month, or after one next month we will have anger. No year, but next year might be have anger. That not really called reduce it the manifestation. Reduce it manifestation means never manifested those afflictions. That takes time. But in order to having those, yes, we have to day by day reduce all these afflictions, slow by slow, time by time, right? So, and getting less and less and less and less with the meditation with emptiness or antidote. So less and less. One day you will have that kind of quality that you will never ever manifested those afflictions. That's the way we count it reduced it. And after you reduce the manifestations, then you have to begin to eliminate the seed of imputed of obscuration. Yeah, actually that's, I talked many times. So imputed. After you manifest it, now you have to begin to eliminate the seed. Right? Seed has two kinds of things. Imputed and innate. So within these two, we have to first try to eliminate the imputed, seed of imputed of those obscuration, either you call self-grasping or afflictions, right? So the seed of imputed. So once you eliminate the seed of imputed, that's the first time you attain cessation. It's not the fully cessation, but the one of the cessations. This is how we begin the cessation, only happening with the seeing path. That's how we need to go, right? And after you eliminate it, the seed of imputed, then you have to work for eliminating the seed of innate of self-grasping. That's all 10 bhumis are working for that. I'm talking the according to Mahayana. Okay, so this is how we need to eliminate. But all the other belows are same. You have to reduce first manifestations, then you completely reduce it, then you eliminate the seed, imputed of seed, and then you eliminate the seed of innate. The same way, but what innate, what imputed, what's root of suffering, it's different, right? Each tenet talks different. What the root of some suffering, what we should reduce it. But anger is all the same anger, right? What below 10 talks about anger, the Prasangika anger is same, anger is same. But mainly different is the root of those mental affliction, which we call self-grasping. These are different. So therefore, you must first reduce the manifestation and completely reduce the manifestations of self-grasping, then reduce the seed. That's how we need to go. But until you reduce the seed, you not attain any cessations. Or you have to eliminate the seed for attaining nirvana and fully the enlightenment. Okay. So if you understand that, now I'm coming back here, what is immediate meaning? So saying if
before you go ahead, could you just clarify something?
What is that?
The eliminating the seed of imputed and then eliminating the seed of innate self-grasping. What imputed means that you have an object on which you impute.
Yeah, imputed means, like I say, what is self-grasping here? Talking about that self-grasping, which is permanent and so on, which is talking about grasping the being substantially exists on the sense of being self-sufficient. These are the imputed. This only knows by who learn people.
Yeah.
Uneducation, they do have self-grasping. Right?
Yeah.
Innately. But they don't know what is self-grasping means, substantially exists. No, they don't know.
Yeah. But
this is only known by learn.
Yeah.
So that we call imputed. Imputed by tenet. Imputed by, like same as brainwash. You brainwash by this. So you learn, that's the way you accept it. It's not come innately.
And then innate is once you experience it with direct perception spontaneously.
Direct perception of what?
Of emptiness, say, or of the lack of inherent existence of.
Even imputed, you must see emptiness directly.
So what's the difference between imputed and innate?
Imputed, all this idea comes from learning, brainwash. Innate is just comes naturally, which has an animal has self-grasping, which kid has self-grasping, which never learned this philosophy do have a self-grasping. These are the innate, right?
Right.
Okay. So now it's 26. Okay, let me finish this line and then we can stop here. It's immediate means like as soon you reduce the manifestation, it's not talking the seed, either imputed or not. As soon as you reduce the manifestations completely, then you might accept that discarding afflictions. But in originally it's not. Discarding afflictions, eliminating afflictions, we must eliminate the seed. But here is talking different because it's arguing based on their exceptions, based on their statement. That's don't forget what their statement is, because each line that's arguing or debating based on the above statement, it's not new things talks, right? So if you forget what their statement, then you will never understand what they're talking here. Manifestation reduce or reduce seed, what are these? You will not understand, okay? Based on above statement, they're talking here, if one is free for just discussing affliction, it is immediate. What is this two is two different explanation. So here saying the Vibhashaka saying is here, right? Discarding affliction is just seeing by that 16 aspect of Four Noble Truth is enough, the saying, right? Then it is immediate, means now Mahayana talking here. Mahayana, if this is the actually antidote for affliction, then you must say, once you reduce manifestation, then they are free from affliction. You must say that. Because your antidote only can reduce manifestation. Your antidote cannot eliminate all the seed. Yeah. Right? Okay, maybe one thing's easier, read one more here, this 45. Where's the 45? Okay, here. Triple, can you read those? The 45.
If, because of your not recognizing one scripture, such as a Prajnaparamita Sutra, as having the complete characteristics of Buddha's speech, you say that all Mahayana texts are corrupt, then, for the same reason. Because one text, such as the Samjari Nirmokana Sutra, is similar to your texts in having all the characteristics of the Buddha's speech. Why not say that all Mahayana texts were spoken by the conqueror? The Vaibhashika response. If Mahayana texts such as the Prajnaparamita Sutras were the word of the Buddha, surely the great Kashyapa and all of the other arhats would have understood them. Since they did not, they cannot be the word of the Buddha.
Okay, Madhyamika, since they are extremely profound. Is this the same meaning? What you talk here? Nimang Pangbe journal there, right? It's okay, this line actually saying if afflictions are eliminated by realize the 16 aspect of Four Noble Truth, then you must accept who reduce the manifestations of affliction must be attained nirvana or become arhat. That's the saying here. Right? Because the antidote, the 16 aspect of the Four Noble Truths only can do that based on Mahayana, according to Mahayana perspective. That's therefore Mahayana said it. So next there will be have an answer for that. And then again, rejecting those answer, right? So far this is the saying here. If eliminate the mental affliction, it become an arhat. Eliminating mental afflictions and becoming arhat are same. Right? One talks about that how to eliminate what the obscuration, one talks about what is attainment. So the attaining nirvana, you must be eliminate all mental afflictions. So therefore, once you hear that eliminate mental afflictions, you must understand that, okay, talking about arhat. When you hear the arhat, you must understand, yeah, those are the who completely eliminate the mental afflictions. These two is same, okay? A same means, that same meaning. So now he's saying, if you become an arhat, attain arhat, just by realize this 16th aspect, then you must accept who reduce the manifestation of mental afflictions are attain the arhat. Because those antidotes can only do that. Cannot completely eliminate mental affliction. Only can eliminate, reduce the mental afflictions. I mean, like only can reduce the manifestation of mental afflictions. Okay, so these two lines, okay, 45 two line. The second two lines is coming. Maybe I will talk next. Yet it is seen the karma has power over those who do not have afflictions. Okay, that's their answer, and then we talk more. So if you could read the commentary on those, like the second two line of 45 verses and 46 and 47 for preferable next class will be better understand. You have a homework. Don't wait unless class, right? Okay. Anyhow, any other question? We have a, okay, it's over time. Then if you have a question, I can take one or two questions.
Can somebody share the commentary in the chat, please?
Anila, say it again.
Could you please share the commentary that you referred to, the file?
Commentary in Tibetan? In English?
The one that you just shared in English.
This is not commentary. This is like another translation of Bodhisattva way of life.
The other one is the Bachelor translation.
Which is here, translated by Stephen Batchelor.
Okay, that's all.
This is not commentary.
Okay.
But I think His Holiness Dalai Lama has commentary on it. And then some other commentary there. So let's see. I have a two commentary here. I have a two commentary here. Wait, change it. Chapel.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Let me stop the recording.